Hi there, this is Steve Kaufman, founder of Link, continuing my series of 7 secrets to successful language learning. You'll remember the first one was to spend the time. The second one was to do the things that you like to do in language learning. The third one was to develop and improve your ability to notice what's happening in the language. Now the fourth one is focus on words. Words, vocabulary is much more important than grammar. And in fact, if you learn words, if you have lots of words, and if you learn these words naturally through lots of listening and reading, the grammar will eventually fall into place. Nothing prevents you from occasionally reviewing grammar rules in a small grammar book. It's probably a good thing to do. I do it. But my major emphasis is accumulating words. And that's why at Link, our number one measurable is how many words do you know. Now, some people say that the emphasis should be on learning chunks of words in the form of phrases that we can easily reproduce. And certainly this is a good thing to do, but the phrases themselves consist of words. So you still have to know what words mean. And the words, you can't learn them in isolation. You have to learn them from meaningful content. And that's why, again, at Link, when you save a word, when I save a word to my personal database at Link, not only do I capture all the phrases where that word occurs, but the next time that word appears in any new text at Link, it'll be highlighted in yellow. And so I'm constantly working to increase my known words total at Link. Grammar, which is nothing other than a description of correct usage, is something that develops gradually. If you try to memorize the rules of grammar, and even if you were able to learn the rules, which I think is very difficult to do without a sufficient amount of input, but even if you learned the rules, if you didn't have enough of a vocabulary to follow a conversation in a particular area or to express your ideas, then you would not be able to say very much. On the other hand, if you have a large vocabulary, you will be surprised at how gradually, and especially if you've seen these words in different phrases, you'll start to notice how naturally you start to speak with the words in the correct order and in the correct form. So, once again, focus your efforts on words. And there are a number of strategies that can help you. Some people like to use flashcards, and there's Anki and Super Memo and other such methods out there. My own preference is to do a lot of listening and reading, and I will focus my listening and reading. And as I said in a previous video, I will, as much as possible, try to read what I'm listening to and listen to what I'm reading. But I will also focus on one author during a particular period, or on one subject area, which might be politics or history or economics. And what this does, it ensures that a certain range of words appear more frequently, so that because I'm staying with one author, Tolstoy, for example, in Russian, then I become familiar with his vocabulary. Or if I am listening to current events interviews, then I become very familiar with that vocabulary. And so occasionally I'll change my emphasis, change the author, change the subject area, but always try to focus for a certain period of time on one particular area so that I get enough repetition so that I can accumulate my vocabulary. So there you have it. The secret number 4, focus on words and the rest of it will fall into place. Thank you for listening.